A little background if you've read the title. From 1951 to 1968, and vaguely referred to as during the 90s and 80s, the Soviet Union sent hundreds of non-human biologics into space, into capsules that eventually came back. We call those animals, but some people like using very unnecessarily tantalizing wording. And some of them were monkeys, which are considered intelligent species by these days. If you're not aware of it, they're treated as intelligent beings because they can, in some ways, communicate. And if you send something into space and refuse to acknowledge, or no one will admit where it came from, you can state safely that it's extraterrestrial until otherwise proven, I guess. And remember, the Russians would never lie about Laika the dog, 1957, or losing some of these science experiment packages that were almost exactly the same weight, suspiciously, as a tactical nuclear warhead being placed onto an ICBM sent into orbit, or that any of them might have gone off track, and or maybe they were deliberately trying to hit Kansas City and hit a chicken coop, ironically with a satellite with a chicken stuffed in it. But the government would cover up anything like that. After all, telling the Russians they actually managed to hit one, totally tactically smart. Have I beaten this into the dirt enough? Have I stomped this to shit enough? No, you're not going to tell the Russians they succeeded in firing an ICBM, weapons package that's literally been replaced with a science experiment with a couple of chickens and a monkey shoved in it. But that's technically non-human biologics, and technically, in some cases, an intelligent life form. And yeah, you can use all sorts of deliberately vague statements that sound science-y. So we got a person who's an Afghanistan veteran. I'm presuming during the Afghanistan declared war from 2001 to 2021 or whatever, right? David Grusch. 2016 to 2021, National Reconnaissance Office, NRO. 1961 is when that thing started. 2019 to 2021, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, UAPTF. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ADARO, could be on his resume as well, and that's something that officially existed sometime before or after 2022. Wikipedia, go der. So let's move on. 2021 to 2022, National Geospatial-Intelligence Agency, the NGA, which started in 1996. And this person has a feather in their cap. He's beyond reproach as a UFO whistleblower, according to someone who refused to identify themselves. So let's move on. The claim is this person has a 4-year Air Force intelligence CV here. 14 years. So back from 2021, 2022, let's call it 2022. So that's 12 before 20, carried to so from 2012 forward, person was in the Air Force intelligence. Okay. So 2012 and to 2021. And then we have the total above of 6 years in alphabet soup organizations of NRO, NGA, ADARO, and UAPTF, WTF barbecue. So let's just go that way. Okay, cool. That's our person. Relevant experience, 6 years. Not relevant in, well, actually, I would think U.S. Air Force intelligence officer for 14 years would be a better thing. Claims he made. Let's get her done. He claimed in the course of his official duties, and I'm presuming it's the 4-year period of time he's talking about here, where he met 40 people who told him a story. he was denied access to things he was told about. And every year, about 10 people, I wonder how far apart they were. What was it, once every 6 weeks exactly or something? He would be told about crash retrieval and reverse engineering in a program aimed at UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomena, which is just a code for UFOs or spacecrafts. They found some things, unique, unknown, exotic, special stuff. Atomic arrangements, which is an extremely vague statement. Radiological signatures. That word could just mean that it's a piece of metal and you had to use electromagnetic spectrum emissions to test it. It doesn't have to be radioactive. Biological matter. Yeah, something you find in this reality is got biological matter. Non-human extraterrestrial or non-human biologicals or intelligence. Again, a chicken stuffed, monkey stuffed in a satellite. Extra-dimensional origin for some reason. No citations given. The U.S. government covered it all up. Yeah, not telling your opponent that they managed to hit something. Or not. Illegally withheld all of this from Congress, blabbing to politicians that bellow about shit. Maybe they didn't want to tell them, okay? And then says, after saying this, and people have been murdered, there's also some white-collar crime we need to talk about. Really, so there's murders going on. This is a claim that's given with no context. There's murders going on. Eyewitnesses. I was told about this whole cover-up. Like, you couldn't just listen to Alex Jones like everybody else. Okay, cool. It's exactly the same story you hear from every fucking sci-fi novel and UFO story and paranoid-laced rant you hear from somebody at a bus stop. But let's talk about the white-collar crime after we talk about the murders. Oh, and by the way, the Vatican and Mussolini are involved somehow. That last part I can't actually find a direct quote, but it's been attributed to him. Also, there's a 300-foot malevolent UFO, the evil 300-foot UFO. It's the size of a football field. Okay. Did you know that the average size of a commercial blimp is... Let's move on. So the UFOs are only seen near advanced societies with aeronautics technologies, near airports or over areas with high airport air flight activity, and also near secret installations where they're testing out weird-looking airplanes that would look like weird-looking airplanes or UFOs. It's unidentified because they don't tell anybody they have it. Not found over the 95% of the Earth's surface, including the oceans, where it would go unnoticed. Or is that just because we're looking everywhere else? Cool. This guy says another guy said the government has alien spaceships. That's what he said. Let's make some extraordinary claims about extraordinary things without any evidence, much less extraordinary evidence. I would settle for any evidence. Mundane shit is actually preferable. And then we get people trying to critique this and talk about, well, this is the reason no one cares, because they're jaded and they're worried about Barbie and woke culture and M&Ms. Because this is a mystery of the universe, because the Earth, specifically the United States, is now the universe, and it's a mystery that needs to be solved because, damn it, it's critical importance to the rest of the universe. Remember, it's not the end of the world as we know it. It would just be the end of humanity, and the planet couldn't give a fuck if it tried. But hey, it has to be a mystery of the universe about why is UAPTF bringing up science experiments that were really just ballistics tests to see if someone could make a non-jammable nuclear warhead reentry equipment a long time ago. We're not given time and date stamps when these were supposed to have been found, locations, anything. The person making the claim says, I heard it from somebody. But there was 40 of them over 4 years. And I don't have clearance to look into the subject matter of, if you're not aware of the 40 people thing, they've been in the news for the last decade. They're all ex-military people who made these claims too. and they got on a book signing tour and got to be on, some talk show or a news channel and got some money out of it. And they're trying to make money after retirement. Elizondo and the To the Stars Academy is one of my favorite ones to kick around as a stupid example of this happening. Aerospace and military people who retire often do this. Why? Because it makes money. Because generally it doesn't hurt anybody. People are acting like the mystery of the universe is irrelevant. No, it's the same story. If you actually look, just dismantle it. Tear it apart. Rip it open with claws. Is this a different statement than we've heard hundreds of times? No. Okay, and it's the same fucking question then. You just made the same claim everybody else does. Where's your evidence? Oh, it's secret. No. You said you got this as information from 40 people. They may not want to provide it to you. Why are you saying it? You know it's classified and you're holding. I know what it is, but it's classified. No, you don't know because they told you a bunch of stuff and you didn't have clearance, so you don't have it. Well, I'm going to present evidence later. No, you present evidence in questioning. Why do politicians keep bringing up stuff they have no intention of actually finishing? The Republicans are bringing up over and over and over again, trying to keep it in the news, that they're going to punish eventually Hillary Clinton. Barack Obama. I'm sorry. The politicians are trying to punish Donald Trump by, he went through two persecutions, as we'll call it. Oh no, it's Joe Biden, because they're going to put him in jail because his son's a fuck up. He's going to be removed from office because his son is a fuck up. And every one of these investigations always ends in them having to admit they don't have evidence, and then they just do it again. And this is the same shit that happened X number of years. This is not anything new. And again, it has the same thing. We're not going to give you the evidence so that there's a closure, so that we can act like we're opening it again, because we got to fight the good fight. And again, the Russians never lied about firing animals into space because they're doing ballistic missile tests and want to get away with it somehow, and having any of them go off track. And the United States would never lie about them accidentally hitting American soil and wouldn't want. Why would you tell your opponent, hey, you managed to hit my dog in the front yard at exactly these coordinates? You wouldn't do that, would you? Please tell me you don't do that. Anyway, I'm just bringing up the Russians because people immediately say, you're doing Russia. The United States did this shit too. And a lot of the stuff was designed to come in to the atmosphere directly over the ocean. Russia had things come in over their own land. But an overshoot, depending on the number of orbits and defect in their launch method, would end up with it landing in Hawaii or in Europe someplace. Australia was hit at least once. And the United States has been hit a couple of times. Canada has been hit. They're just a little more open about it. But we're not going to tell them what date it hit and where, because they can figure out, that means we can launch a dumb bomb. And I want to point out that the only thing keeping ICBMs out of the hands of terrorists is they don't know how to ballistically, that's what this term comes from, launch a missile and have it hit with no guidance. If it doesn't have a guidance system to fuck up, it's going to hit. You might notice we don't actually do that because it doesn't fucking work. Re-entry and going up through the atmosphere before that fuck up your aim. That's why we use active aiming systems. So again, we're not told how long ago these biologicals, like chickens, were found, or the intelligences, a dead monkey. We are not being told this. This individual hasn't provided us any data that we can go check. If you can't fact check someone's statements, it's a lie. And no, I can't prove that we ever had chickens hit Kansas City, Kansas, by literally hitting a chicken coop. Space chicken. Don't type in space chicken and look up the story Kansas City. So anyway, I think it was Kansas City News. Kansas City, what was that? You'd have to look it up. Okay, now here's my response to David Grusch. His resume is not completed here. I don't have all his data, number one. Number two, getting a shining, yeah boy, from someone who says he's beyond reproach who won't identify himself does not speak volumes. Next, it's identical to actually a movie series and an entire series of other whistleblowers like this. And every time, it just fades away because it's no longer served its purpose of distracting you from the fact that Donald Trump's getting arrested. Or whatever the fuck it is that people want to cover up. And yeah, the Democrats are doing it too because they have stuff that they don't want to discuss. This is busy work so they can look busy. They're trying to avoid doing something this week. It's bullshit. And yeah, someone's going to do a freaking council meeting on it. Whoop-de-dee. give me the information on all the impact points. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.